Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Friday at 4 podcast series. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Chuck?
Fantastic.
Good.
Welcome. It's happy Halloween. It's October 31st.
Right. Today's Halloween. Oh,
Yes, it is.
gotta get that candy ready. So the question really becomes, do I give the candy out or do I eat it myself?
Yeah, you wait for me.
I can mail you some. That's okay. I'll send the carrier
Yes.
pigeon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, welcome back. I know we toyed around last week about following up again with the whole credit card thing.
Hmm.
I think that's a great topic for today. But before we get into that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Chasing the Stars, episode 11, Taste and Rated Spooky Cupcake Edition has been released already today. You can check it out at QACteam.com, on YouTube at Q.A.C. Team Podcast. It's everywhere. It's all my social media now. But, the three bakeries, the Pennsylvania Bakery at 1713 Market Street in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. They were awesome. Anna Rose Bakery at 100 North 2nd Street, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And Sprinkles Italian Bakery, 3100 Nommans Road in Wilmington, Delaware. They have been great. I want to thank those three for, giving me the hospitality to come in and record the episode in their locations and for supplying the cupcakes.
Mm.
So check them out, guys, and get some spooky, good cupcakes from them.
So I'd like to know if I can get some samples because I love cupcakes.
Hey, send them an email. Say, hey, you saw them on Chasing the Stars with Chuck? Yeah, you never know. They're really good people. It was a fun time. The episode turned out great. I'm getting some great feedback already, and yeah, they were awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I love cupcakes, love candy. The only downside, don't laugh too loud. The only downside is my waistline is getting bigger.
Nah, really?
Nah, nah, not too
You ever
much.
see Stephen King's Thinner? That's me. Everything I eat, just can't you see what I want? All right, let's back on our serious note
Let's get
here.
back
So
on
let's
track. Okay.
let's get back on track. All right. So what do you got? Let's go ahead and get started here and see what we're gonna finish up for this second part to the credit.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who were on last week, for those of you who weren't and first time in, we talked a little bit about credit cards. Using them the right way, credit cards can be a huge boost to your credit scores, which impacts a whole bunch of things. It could be a big boost to um, how you use your money. So, again, if you have, let's say, a rewards card, you can get rewards towards hotels, airlines, meals. Bill comes in the next month, pay off the bill. So you get all the rewards. You're not paying any interest, which is the ideal situation of not paying interest, and you win. You have no balance. It's great. It's a great if you can do that. We also talked a little bit about when you don't pay the balance in full, what can happen, the upside, the downside. And that's what we're going to go through in a few minutes. I just did a couple of quick slides just for some quick numbers, just to illustrate how much a credit card company really loves you when you don't pay the full balance. And I say that sarcastically, and you'll understand why.
Let's
Um,
recap real fast off the last few. If you're tuning into this one and you didn't tune into the last one, and you heard me talk about my trials and tribulations of last month when my credit card company sent me with a late fee, which
mhm.
was not fair. But when you look at their fine print, they said they didn't have a, what is it?
They didn't have a document. I don't,
Didn't have a grace period.
right, right. It was the grace period.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? I do want to say I got both those credit cards. Give me back my late fees.
They're not doing it because they're nice.
No. They
They're
want to
doing
keep
it
you.
because they want to keep you paying all the interest.
Yeah.
That's why
Which is not
credit
going to
card
happen.
companies don't don't really like you. They don't.
Yeah.
And
No.
it's not you. I'm talking in general statement. They don't.
Sure.
All they want is their money. They don't care about anybody. And again, we'll illustrate that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
Tear it up, man. Let's do it. Let's get it.
yeah. So I have, and I'm not going through the whole thing today, but I have a presentation that I do that I call the credit card scam. And again, this is my view of the world. Nobody's paying me to say this. This is me only speaking. Just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Is that a freebie? Not to cut you off, but is that something you can give away to our listeners?
I probably could. Like, yeah, I could. If you want it, my cell phone number is on the screen. Send me a text, and I'll send it to you. There's nothing proprietary in there. So if you want
You
it,
can
by all
you can
means, you
send
can have it.
yeah, you can send it to me and I can put up on the website if you want. They can just
Yeah,
click
I
on
can
it
do that.
to
That's fine. Again, it's not
yeah, however you want to
proprietary.
do it. That's cool.
I don't
That's all I want to
name.
ask. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I don't name any companies, so I'm not, targeting a specific bank
sure.
or credit card company. It's generic stuff. So
Right.
yeah, we could absolutely share that. Um, so the way my version of the credit card scam works is it starts depending on, and I believe it's across the country, when you turn 18, you become an adult age wise. Let me clarify that. Age wise, okay.
I was about to say
Mentally,
it.
yeah, okay, but age wise, okay. That means, and again, I'm not an attorney, but that means that any contract you sign, you are liable. That's becoming an adult. So when you turn 18, typically high school or first year college, you get something in the mail that says, congratulations. I'm going to use Chuck as the example. Congratulations, Chuck. By the way, it just made you 18 years old. You can thank me later. So, my pleasure. So, Chuck gets this letter that says, congratulations, you've been approved for X credit card with $500 credit limit. Chuck thinks that's great. I just got this card. He goes out and he charges whatever he does, goes to dinner, goes to lunch, buys a phone, buys whatever he does, and he uses the whole $500. The next month, he gets a letter in the mail that says, thanks for charging up $500, but because we like you, you can only pay us back if you want a minimum of $25. And Chuck sits there and says, holy cow, I charged 500. All they want back is 25. This is a great deal. And all he pays is $25. The next month, he gets another letter in the mail that says, hey, guess what? You owe me another $25 minimum. And Chuck says, okay, minimum. I'll pay you the $25. And this goes on 2, 3, 4 months. Then Chuck gets a letter that says, hey, congratulations. You're such a good customer. We like you so much. We're going to do one of two things. We're going to either increase from 500 to 1,000, the amount, your outstanding, your limit, your credit limit, or we're going to give you a second card. And Chuck's like, okay. So he now gets this extra $500. Now he has 1,000 available. He charges that extra 500. The following month, he gets a letter that says, we like you so much. You owe us 1,000, but give us 35. And Chuck's like, this is great stuff. Pays 35. And this goes on and on and on. Minimum payment every month. As he continues to pay minimum, his credit limit goes up. Now he owes more and more money. And he'll never get out by paying the minimum payment. He will pay that interest for the rest of pretty much for the rest of his life. That's what I call the credit card scam. It's not just 18-year-olds. It's adults as well. They prey on people who may not have the best credit, but need something to live on. So here's a credit card. Go charge your groceries, go charge whatever else. Um, Adults, seniors, they prey on everybody because they're looking for the interest.
Yep.
And that's the challenge out there, and people end up not getting out of the hole. So what I'd like to do very quickly, and bear with me while I bring this up here. Um, Let me do this. I know you're seeing my screen. Sorry, but I'm trying to, and I hope I can do this right to get this going.
There it is.
Where
I
is
see
it?
a calendar. Look how full it is.
You see my calendar. See my calendar.
Looks like mine.
Ugh. All right. So here's what I was trying to get to. I know it took me a few minutes. I'm sorry, but here's what I'm trying to get to.
Can you make it full screen?
So thank you very much from that. From current slide. There
Just
we
so
go.
people can
Thank
see
you.
it. There you go.
All right. Thank
Love
you
it.
for that. So this slide is slightly outdated, slightly. So I did a Google search today, and my search said very simply, what are the total outstanding credit card balances as of today? And the answer I got back was $1.2 trillion.
Credit.
Trillion dollars.
Wow.
So if you consider how much interest the credit card companies are making on that much balance,
Yeah.
but more than that, think about how scary it is in today's economy where people may not have their jobs anymore, may not have enough income from their existing job, and they're living on credit cards and they're
Yeah.
paying minimum balances.
Yeah. Right.
That to me is more scary. The 1.2 trillion, yes, that's scary, but the other things, I don't understand because I'm not thankful I'm not in that situation.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how credit card companies, banks, whoever can expect people to get out of debt when they're so deep into it.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
to me, it's just not fair. Quite frankly, it's just not fair. I get it why people use it. And again, if used right, it can help you. But when you have no choice and you have to live on it, it becomes a burden that you can't get out of. So I understand it. But I want to just go through a couple of really quick slides just to show you what happens if you pay minimum every month or pay a little bit more than minimum or less than minimum. It's just a couple of real quick examples just for people to understand how much they're being taken advantage of. And mind you, this is all under the guise of they love you. They love
Let's
you
get a little heart going.
because they want you to pay minimum balance. They love you. They increase your limits, pay minimum.
Yeah. You know, it's
So
$1,000. You just paid 35 bucks a month. You're good.
you're good, but you'll never, ever, ever get out of debt. So
Yeah.
the first slide, this is what I call who, how, and why, we get cards. I just went through all that stuff. So the question really becomes pay the minimum or not, and that's where the numbers come in. So this is a real example. So let's say the person has a $6,125 balance. The interest rate on their card is 16.2. Now, mind you, the average credit card has a 20% interest rate. So some are less, some are more. It's average 20%. In this case, it's 16.2. So if you pay this minimum payment monthly of $100, it's going to take you 131 months, which is roughly 11 years to pay off this $6,000. And in that process, you will pay $6,900 of interest. So you're paying more in interest than you even charged. And
Yeah,
this,
also make sure you clarify that is that
yes,
in total you're looking at about $13,000.
correct. You
Yeah,
charge six, you're paying off 13.
13.
And this assumes that you do not charge anything additional.
Yeah,
Okay. This should scare a lot of people. And it's not meant to scare you. I'm more to open your eyes to what's
yeah,
happening and why people are getting so taken.
yeah.
So this is 6,100 at $100. If that same 6,100 you paid $200 a month. Instead of 131 months, it becomes 40. So it's a little over 3 years instead of 11 years. And instead of 6,900 in interest, you're paying 1,800. They're giving you the option in the small print on your papers that you signed.
Right.
But when they send you the bill, they say to you minimum due, and that's what most people pay is minimum due.
And
And
that's
again, I
because
get
people that get credit cards need them because they're behind on something. So they use
correct.
it to charge stuff. So they can't pay because that bare minimum payment really sucks you in and say, well, I can afford that. But they don't see the
Correct.
scam, right? Yeah,
Correct.
I get it. Yeah.
Right. And part of the reason, and I stress part of the reason, is because they keep giving more and more credit, more and more line. So instead of you have $1,000 line, it's a $2,000 line, a $5,000 line, because they give you more and more credit and people are using it. Now they're not getting out of debt. They make it that way. People have said to me, the credit card is broken because I keep paying every month and I'm not paying it off. It's not broken. The system is designed to do
Design.
exactly what it's doing, is to
Yep.
keep people in debt. It's doing
Yep.
exactly what it's designed to do.
And let's
The
make sure we clarify that this actually goes for businesses as well as personal, because you're getting the same kind of hook because it doesn't matter whether you're a business or a personal, this applies for everybody.
correct. This
Yeah.
applies, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no distinction, no differentiation between a business or an individual. The same numbers hit.
Yeah.
This is this one. The next one says if you then took that same $6,000 and you reduced your payment. Now, the first
Ooh.
example was $100 and you paid it off in 131 months. This one is $83, but you're paying it off in 417 months. That's, I don't know, 30, well,
Almost
10 years is
36,000.
12. Yeah, it's over 30 years to pay this off. And you're going to pay
$36,000.
28,000 in
Yeah.
interest. So you charge 6, you pay off 28 just in interest.
Yeah.
But they like you.
They love you. Not like
They
you, they love
love
you.
you. I know
Oh,
I'm
hurt.
I'm
There's your heart again.
yeah, they love you. This is
Wow.
what they do to you.
Yeah.
Now this is at
Yeah.
16.2. What if that payment was at 29.9?
Yeah.
So the interest rate went up, but this person also pays 154, which is more than minimum. In this
Yeah.
case, it's going to take them 208 months, which
Whew.
is roughly 17 years. And they'll pay
Yeah.
$25,000 in interest.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
And
That's a
again,
huge problem.
we have talked and said this numerous times. We understand people get into these situations where they can't pay it off. So let's end this because that's my last slide. Come on, go off. Okay. So let's go back to yeah, all right, let's go back to this. Um, there are different things that people can try, and I think I talked about this last week, but I'm going to repeat it again. There are things that people can do, and I've worked with a number of people, and again, there's no charge for me doing this and helping you. Let me just state that clearly. There's no charge for me doing this.
Yeah.
There are several things that people can do. Number one is you can call up your credit card company, again, regardless of what it is, and say to them, I'm having a problem. I can't pay. What can you do to help me? Can you lower my interest rate? Can you put a freeze on the interest for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months to give you more of a chance to bring down the balance so your future interest becomes less money so you can pay it off a little faster?
Right.
That's something you can do. Um, Another thing you can, and people that I've worked with have done that. And most people are successful. And the reason they're successful, in my opinion, when credit card companies have $1 trillion outstanding, people who no longer can pay, those credit card companies have to write it off. And they don't want to do that. So they would rather help you, work with you, and get some money back instead of just saying it's ungood, it's uncollectible, write it off, and we're done. They don't want to
Right.
do that. So you might be able to get somebody that can help you on the phone. Um, all right. And the second thing, which of course I just went blank on. Yes, you can laugh at me now.
It's Halloween.
Oh,
Hey, man, it's all good.
okay, just okay. The second thing is there are credit card companies out there that are saying we're offering a 0% interest, 0% balance transfer, and I'll tell you what that is in a second, for 12 months, 15 months, 18 months. What that means is if you take, and again, I stress everybody, read the documentation. If you're not sure what it is, find somebody that understands it. Don't just sign the piece of paper.
Right.
So if you get one of those cards, you can move, let's just say $1,000 from your current card with a high interest rate onto a card with a zero interest rate. The zero balance transfer means there is no fee to move the 1,000 from your current card to the new card. And be
Yeah.
careful because sometimes they do charge a fee. Now you're
Yeah.
going further into the hole. You don't want to do that. So if you
Right.
can find, oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I'm just
Oh,
listening.
sorry. Okay. So if you can find, again, please read the documentation. If you can find one that'll allow you to transfer at no fee, so you transfer the 1,000. But here's the catch. Before you do that, find out how many months that zero interest rate is for. So let's say, to make things easy for me, let's say it's a 15-month zero interest and you move over $1,500. That means 1,500 divided by 15 months is $100 a month. If you decide to, and again, in this example, if you decide to move that 1,500, on average, it's $100 a month. And the reason I'm going through this is at the end of that 15 months, you are contractually liable to pay that whole $1,500 off. Now, you could pay nothing for 14 months and pay the whole thing in month 15. Doesn't matter as long as you pay it in full. Because if you don't pay it in full, they will then charge you interest on the whole $1,500 from day one at probably 30%, 32%, 29%, some ridiculous interest rate.
And
So
I do
while
know that when you transfer funds like that to a card, it's a higher interest rate too. So if you transfer at 1,500, their
Mhm,
card might be 18% interest, but that transfer might be at 35 or 40% interest. I've seen that.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I said again, read the
Read the
paperwork
documents.
and
Yeah.
make sure that if you do that, you 100% can pay it off by the end of that period. In this example, 15 months.
Yeah.
Again, if you can't, you're going to be worse off. So stay where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving you everybody both sides, but I want you to be aware of there's a great side to it, but there's also a downside because again,
Yeah.
you're an adult, you signed it, you're liable. So I'm just trying to
Sure.
again make people aware of the good and the bad so that they can make an informed decision.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a lot of what I wanted to talk about today. Um, Cards can be good if used the right way. If you
Yeah.
get stuck in that situation, call your credit card company, whoever it is, call them,
Yeah.
explain the situation. Um, In my case, and some of you have already heard this before, in my case, I had a business and 10, 12 years ago, and the business did not survive, like for a whole bunch of reasons. But in my situation, I needed money. I had
And you
no
needed it
income
now.
and I needed it now. And I had no income, but I had all the
Yeah.
expenses. I had to pay salary and rents and all the things I had to pay. So I took loans against my credit card that I was personally liable for.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was close to six figures in
Yeah.
credit card debt. And
Wow.
what happened to me, I am absolutely not, let me repeat that. I'm not telling you to do this, but I
Right.
chose the route of bankruptcy
Yeah.
and it haunted me for 10 years.
And I like to tell people, bankruptcy is not the way to go, but let that be the absolute very last resort.
Correct.
I've been there. I know what that's like way back in the day.
Yep.
And that was an awful thing to go through,
It
you
is.
know? Yeah. So yeah,
It's
I'm glad we're
awful.
on the same page with that because
Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah. So
Let
again,
that
as
let that both of us be clear about that.
yes,
Let
yes,
that be. If there is no other option, that is
right,
it. But
right,
wait till you get to
right,
that level, right?
right.
Yeah.
There's no other option. And again,
Yeah.
it excuse me, it haunted me for 10 years. I
Yeah.
absolutely say do not unless it is, as Chuck said, it's an absolute last resort.
Yeah.
But to avoid that, and again, I understand the economy's bad, but find a job, find two jobs, find three jobs, part-time, whatever it is.
Right.
Get whatever money you can.
Yeah.
Pay it down as fast as you can. Negotiate with your credit card company. Try all these different things to avoid the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Many, many institutions now are willing to work with you so they don't write it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, I'm here. I'm a phone call away, a text message away. Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. 516-727-2294. Reach out to Steve. And I
Yeah.
highly recommend reach out to get that PowerPoint from you so they can really
Mm.
understand it. If they don't
Yeah.
understand it, go through it with them, right? I mean, be
Right.
more than happy to work with them.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
why not? Right?
And
Yeah.
the numbers that came on those couple of slides about the 6,000 with the minimum balance and the number of years and all that number of months, that comes from Excel. And I also have, it's on my computer somewhere, I have to find it. But I have instructions that if you wanted to run those same scenarios for yourself, anybody can do it because I did step by step instructions.
Yeah.
So, don't think it's beyond, it is easy. So if you want to run some scenarios, this is my balance. What if I pay this amount? What if I pay this amount? How long will it take me? What am I going to pay in interest? You can run all those, what if scenarios yourself. It's not hard. And I can send that, to anybody who wants it as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a great thing because
Yeah.
it kind of aligns with what I'm doing with the business snapshot, right? So you get all the
Mhm.
data of how you're running. So here you're getting all of your data on how you're running your credit wise, and how much debt you have versus your income. So what I'm doing, it's kind of like, with reviews, your numbers, it's the same thing, but it's a different formula, you know. I think anything to analyze is brilliant, you know.
It- So the one of the reasons that Chuck and I do this every week, obviously we've known each other for well over a year and became good friends, but what we do really does work together because in this example, because that's what we're talking about today, when you're, and I'm talking generic statement, when you're in a business and you have all these cards and debt and you're in trouble, that does impact the quality, potentially the number of staff you have, the quality of service you provide, how fresh the food is, how clean your restaurant is. That's where Chuck comes in and call him at 410-935-6132. He'll go in and he'll look at all these things. And if it turns out that the reason that the challenges you're having happen to be from the financial side, then he can bring me in and we can have a complete, confidential, complimentary conversation so that when Chuck comes back in 3 months, 6 months later, whatever those issues were, they may not be completely resolved, but you're on the road to resolving them.
Yep.
And
Let
when
me
the
give you a quick
road,
example too. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you take this Italian restaurant you've been going to for 10 years, right? Inflation's high, economy's crazy, things are going on. Well, you started going there recently and you notice that it doesn't taste the same. Well, what do you think happened? Right? This guy's now getting cheaper ingredients because he can't afford it. So he's like, well, we'll get by with this cheese and this sauce and this dough. We've used this for years, but we can chinch here. Now I'm saving myself $1,000 a week. Now I can pay my employees again, right? So you're getting things tasted different, right? So if you look at that, it all goes together what we're talking about, right? Because now you're looking at it monetarily wise because they're not able to pay their bills. And I'm looking at it from the review side is how you don't taste the same. I've been going to you for 15, 20 years. Now all of a sudden it tastes like crap, you know? So I want to give that example to how
yeah,
everybody's watching and how we work together because think about it. That's a good example of what happens.
and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So finances, service, food, employees, they really go together. So
Yeah.
whether you're an individual or you're in a business, this topic we talked about today really does impact you. And we're here to help talk to you, see if we can help. And that's really what it is. And that's why we do this every week is to
Yeah.
try to help people um, to be better financially in a restaurant or an establishment. How do you become better? Because there is such competition out there. How do you stand out above the rest? And that's where Chuck can
Yeah.
come in and help you do that by
Yeah.
helping you identify things that could be made just that little bit better and to make that difference.
Yeah. And that's why I like this on Friday, right? Because
Mm.
it's end of everybody's normal work week where I work 7 days, but it's at Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. We're hitting on 4 o'clock. It's a shorter day for me because I'm looking forward to getting home early to jump on this podcast. And I love the fact that we're very consistent with this and we do this every Friday. We have guests coming on. I would love to have anybody who's listening come on as a
Yeah.
guest to join us. Give us your 2 cents of what you feel about whatever topic we talk about. And I think as the days go by, I really look forward to this podcast because when it gets close to Thursday and Friday, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We surprise ourselves, like, oh my God, let's do this,
Yeah.
and we just roll with what we want to roll with.
Right.
And I think this is if one person watches this and listens and really takes some advice from one of these episodes, I feel like we've won.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed. Agreed.
one person. You know,
Agreed. I mean,
yeah,
we'd like more, of course, but you're right. If
yeah,
we can help one person get out of debt, one person improve their business, we've done what we're supposed to do.
yeah. Yep. And I love the fact that you had talked, and I really I'm honored that you said that what we do works so well together. And it really does.
We do.
If you look at it, I think that's
Mhm.
why we connected a year ago because
Mhm.
the universe saw that we worked well together. We had that synergy. Our minds work together. And I'm loving the fact that we're starting to put this together to where we have a boatload of stuff. If you go to my website and you just hit the search feature and you search for whatever you're thinking about, my podcast will come up with what you're talking about because I have keywords that are so good with this. So
And the website is,
QACteam.com.
just want to make sure people know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah, because you get this on Spotify.
QACteam.com.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on Spotify, the website's not there, but yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Steve, again, thanks again for coming on
Yeah.
another great
My
episode. I'm
pleasure,
glad we
Chuck.
got to follow back up, with what we talked about last week.
Mhm.
It's tied in well with it because I know there's so much we could talk about with credit card debt, and not
Mm.
just credit card debt, but credit in general, because there's so much things
Right.
that go to this topic,
Mhm.
that really ties well with what we
Yeah.
do. And although I hate this topic, I love it because when you see a screen like that, it really hits home to say, wow,
Mhm.
I am one of those people that could be in trouble in 5 years if I don't straighten that out, and I hope people that watch this can say the same thing and say, man, I really got to get together with this because I don't want to end up like that, you know?
Right. No, and yeah, it could be out of your control because again, the economy and whatever else. But
Yeah.
think outside the box, ways to reduce the debt, ways to maybe increase the income even a little bit and put that little increase in income directly against the card to pay it down faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, long term, your financial well being, your mental state,
Yeah.
everything really depends because finances really dictate a lot of stuff that we do or can't do because of money.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Steve,
All
thanks
right.
again for coming on the Friday at 4 podcast because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere,
love
and it
it, love
is.
it, love it. It really is. Well,
Yep.
Steve, have a great rest of the Friday this Halloween.
You
Hope you
too.
get to eat some candy. I'm going to look outside, see if we got anybody I can get some candy from. Hey, kid, come here, give me some
Yeah.
candy.
I'm still debating whether I eat it or not, but that's a whole different discussion. Okay.
I know, I hear you. Well, I'll get to my trick or treaters here. I've been here for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
And yeah, 10 years now. And I haven't not one trick or treater
Yeah, we
ever.
don't get many either. We
Yeah.
don't.
So, yeah. Anyway, hey,
Oh well.
have a great rest of the evening,
You too.
everybody. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
And we'll chat soon, Steve.
You got it. Thanks, Chuck. Take care, everyone.
Take
Bye.
care, everybody. See you.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.